Have you ever considered that Atlantis might be more than just a myth? What if the tale of a lost civilization was woven into the very fabric of our existence? The name Atlantis, often tossed aside as mere fantasy, sitting comfortably next to tales of dragons and buried treasures, could hold a deeper significance. What if this story was not a figment of imagination, but a key to understanding a part of ourselves, long buried beneath the weight of our distractions and denials? We've been told that Atlantis sank beneath the waves, but perhaps what really drowned was not a city, but our connection to a collective memory buried in our very being, a state of consciousness waiting to be rekindled. This journey isn't solely about ruins and relics. It's a call to rediscover frequencies long forgotten. If you're here, it means something inside you resonates with this truth. Atlantis, a name that ignites curiosity and stirs up a sense of something profoundly ancient and powerful. You might know the tale, a civilization once bathed in wisdom, fairness, and power, extinguished in the blink of an eye. This narrative first comes from Plato, the renowned Greek thinker over 2 millennia ago. While many scholars dismiss his accounts as allegorical tales, what if these were not just stories, but echoes of a time remembered? Plato's dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, tell us that the story was passed down from Egyptian priests to Solon, an esteemed Athenian lawmaker. They conveyed narratives of lands beyond the Pillars of Hercules, lands advanced beyond imagination, that thrived only to succumb to moral decay. Scholars have often deemed these accounts as mere fables, ethical lessons rather than historical truths. But why would such a venerated philosopher embed such intricate detail in something solely imagined? Plato painted Atlantis with clarity, its structure, governance, and, most importantly, the values weaved into its very existence. This land, he said, stood as a monument to divine harmony, where spirit and matter coexisted effortlessly. He also foretold its downfall, revealing that it was an internal conflict, where greed and ambition eclipsed virtue and wisdom, that led to its demise. This isn't merely ancient history, but a pressing cautionary tale. Yet Plato wasn't the only one to hint at a lost civilization. The Mayans shared stories of Aztlan, an island that slipped beneath the waves. Hindu scripts refer to Kumari Kandam, a lost realm consumed by the sea. Pacific Island lore speaks of Lemuria, another ancient realm erased from memory. Even early Egyptian writings reference a glorious age before the dynasties rose to fame, a glimmer of lost history. These narratives aren't random. They're fragments of a shared memory buried under centuries of conquest and skepticism. These repetitions across cultures signal something deeper, a rise of knowledge and enlightenment met with downfall upon spiritual disconnection. We aren't discussing myths. We're recounting the collective memory encoded within stories, because history books would never capture their essence. But why is this truth concealed? Because Atlantis embodies more than just a lost land. It symbolizes humanity's limitless potential, what we were then and are capable of being again. And for those in power, awakening a populace to their own potential is the greatest threat. In conventional teachings, history is viewed as a constant journey forward. But what if that narrative is flawed? What if we've walked this path before, manifesting remarkable innovation, entwined with spiritual insights, only to collapse due to our own hubris and imbalance? Could it be that our current existence, filled with technology, stress, and distraction, is but a shadow of what Atlantis once flourished as? If you ever felt that something vital is missing from this world, an intangible essence, you're not merely dreaming, it's a call to remember. Atlantis isn't just a story of the past. It's a reflective lens on our present. Once you recognize this truth, it becomes impossible to ignore. We've been conditioned to view technology merely as tools, cold, distant, engineered constructs meant to enhance our lives. However, the technology of Atlantis was a different beast altogether. It wasn't designed for exploitation or superficiality. It was meant for alignment. Atlantean innovations harmonized spirit and science, offering a means to tap into the very essence of existence, a connection to both the physical and the divine. Imagine a civilization where energy wasn't extracted through harm but channeled through intention. Picture temples not merely as sacred sites but as resonance chambers, amplifying sound, light, and vibration to lift the spirit. Visualize crystals transformed from mere decoration into conscious tools, essential instruments that stored knowledge, conducted energy, and facilitated healing. Esoteric traditions, deep teachings, and mystic channels suggest that the Atlanteans perfected spiritual sciences, integrating consciousness with technological mastery. They mastered energy direction through sound, sacred geometry, and the inherent qualities of crystals. Pyramids constructed with impeccable precision served not as tombs, but as energy generators. Obelisks functioned as tuning forks, and crystals, especially clear quartz and others, powered entire cities, not through conventional fuels, but via harmonic resonance. This isn't mythical, it's advanced frequency manipulation, many centuries ahead of today's understanding. Their understanding of sound was fundamental. They perceived the universe as a symphony of vibrations, thought, motion, and emotion all held frequencies. By emitting precise tones, they could elevate consciousness, heal maladies, and even levitate objects. Ancient texts allude to mantras that could reshape reality. Egyptian temples echoed mantras aligned with the body's energy centers. Tibetan singing bowls retain echoes of this wisdom. Atlantis didn't fabricate these teachings, it lovingly remembered them. However, over eons, as the ego grew and ambition overshadowed integrity, this sacred knowledge was tainted. Services turned towards manipulation, where sound, once uplifted, spiraled into control. Accounts suggest that in Atlantis's twilight, the tools that were meant to awaken consciousness ultimately unraveled it. They sought to dominate the energy rather than harmonize with it, leading to an imbalance that seeded their downfall. This isn't mere fantasy, it's reflective of our own reality. Today we grasp devices that pulse with frequencies we largely ignore. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all weaving through our lives in invisible currents. Each day we navigate a sea of waves, yet many remain disconnected from the profound truths that once anchored existence. Atlantean technology operated not through screens, but through organic principles coexisting with Earth's rhythms. The reason this wisdom is suppressed is not for our protection, but as a safeguard against our potential. Suppose you knew that your body vibrates at specific frequencies, that your voice held restorative powers, that your thoughts could direct energy. How would that alter your reality? The Atlanteans weren't demigods, they were simply humans who remembered. And now, we stand on the brink of recalling what's been buried within. The wisdom of Atlantis was not built, but embodied. The further we drift from this inner awareness, the more we risk losing sight of our true power, which doesn't stem from the tools, but from the consciousness igniting them. Atlantis didn't fade due to natural catastrophes. That narrative keeps the deeper truth at bay. Yes, ancient texts mention earthquakes and floods, but those were merely the concluding chapters. The true decline began long before the ground shook, when the spirit of the people faltered. The true cause behind Atlantis's fall wasn't nature's wrath. It was our misuse of energy, a spiritual degradation. Once a beacon of divine order, this civilization let greed fracture their harmony. During its golden age, the people lived in alignment with higher laws. their technology guided by wisdom, their leaders selected for virtue rather than ambition. But gradually, cracks emerged. Seeking knowledge morphed into arrogance, exploration warped into a thirst for control. A divide formed among the spiritual elite, the priests, scientists, and sages. While some continued to walk the path of light, others succumbed to temptation, influenced by ego and separation. This wasn't a traditional conflict. It was an energetic schism, a rift that split between ascended consciousness and base desires. Once this division gained foothold, it spread rapidly. Technologies meant for healing were repurposed for surveillance and subjugation, and the balance sustaining Atlantis crumbled. The Earth responded, not through rage, but through inevitability. When spiritual foundations tremble, the physical world soon follows. Edgar Cayce spoke of two factions in Atlantis, the followers of unity and the followers of materialism. One embraced alignment with divine principles, the other pursued self-serving dominion. This tension built over lifetimes until it tipped the balance, where destruction wasn't a singular act, but rather a culmination of ongoing imbalance that could no longer endure. Here lies a troubling insight. Their narrative parallels ours. Today, we wield extraordinary power, yet walk in disconnection from our spirit. Technological marvels have emerged, but we lose touch with our essence. We manipulate nature, yet neglect our mental well-being. This echoes the fall of Atlantis. Their tale isn't a story of the past, but a cautionary prompt for our present decisions. The patterns repeat, presenting the choice of awareness or oblivion. As we approach a new paradigm, this internal frequency begins to awaken not just individually, but collectively. You are a bridge between the past and the future, the essence of what was lost and what is yet to be rediscovered. And each decision you make to align with truth creates ripples in the collective consciousness, bringing forth the legacy of Atlantis. If this message resonates with you, know that you're not alone. There are many in this awakening process. Together, we form a growing community, each contributing to the shift towards an aligned consciousness. As you embody these truths, you ignite the flame of remembrance within others, even in silence. The new Atlantis will rise, not built of stone, but crafted from intentions and mindful choices. Those who are awake will share not just knowledge, but lived examples of truth. This journey isn't a solitary endeavor. It invites you to co-create reality with others, grounded in awareness and compassion. Each moment becomes an opportunity to align actions with core values, infused with authenticity and integrity. This is the essence of revival. Not a forgotten city reclaimed, but a truth awakened in the modern age. Embrace the power of remembrance, for it exists not only as a distant memory, but as a potential within you. You are not here merely to comply with expectation or tradition. You are here to bring forth a new way of being, grounded in love, connectivity, and co-creation. If the information in this video speaks to you, leave a comment, "I remember," and join the chorus of those awakening to this profound truth. As we wrap up our exploration of Atlantis, remember that the quest for knowledge doesn't end here. If you found this journey intriguing, you're going to love what's coming next. Join us in the video now playing on your screen, where we delve into the fascinating realm of esoteric knowledge. We'll uncover hidden truths, ancient teachings, and practices that have shaped our understanding of the universe and ourselves. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow seekers of wisdom. Together, we can illuminate the path to deeper understanding and spiritual growth. Let's continue this enlightening journey. See you in the next video.